All right, so now we've got the output of our fishnet here. In my case, I called it fishnet test X. And we want to actually use this to help us, again, get towards our ultimate goal, which is to understand the correlation between the boating and fishing access points and the dams. And the way we are going to do that is we need to create some file that will contain the number of fishing and boating access points within each of these cells. If we open up this guy right now, this is what it looks like. So we can see each of these guys, right? So this guy corresponds to, this guy down here, right? And this guy corresponds to this guy, and so on, right? But all we have here is the length and the shape for these different guys. But what we actually want to know is how many dams are in this point. And so the way we're going to do that is using a tool called spatial join. And in this case, the target feature is going to be the fishnet file that we created. And the join feature, we're going to have to do this multiple times, but the join feature will be the point file of interest. And so in our case, this is going to be the fishing and access points for this little example that I'm doing. Then we're going to create an output. We want to name this guy something appropriate. So let's call it boating. You could name it whatever you wanted to, just sort of in a place that makes sense for you. And we can just leave all of the defaults here. Just leave all of the rest of the defaults, but give it a good name. So we want this to be join 1 to 1 and so on. And then we're just going to say OK. So it's gonna create, and actually I screwed that up because the fishnet, this guy was highlighted, so it only did it for that cell, and that's not very helpful. So let's remove that guy and let's do it again. So all right, now nothing is highlighted. I'm going to do the tool again. Target feature is the fishnet. The join is the boating access points. We're going to call this guy boating 2 because I messed that guy up before. And then we're going to save this guy, and then we're going to say OK, and now it's thinking, it's working, and we've created even though it's like the same color as what we had before, but we've created a new output. And now if we look at the attribute table of this guy, there's something else going on here. Now it's got a column here called join count, and we can see that, oh wow, let's zoom in onto this guy. So this is telling us this is 2, and let's zoom to select. Oh, there's 2 green fishing access points in here. Awesome. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to export this file so that we can open it up in Excel. And let's just call this, I'm going to export it as a text file, and we're going to call this guy boating 2. And we're going to save it. I'm going to say OK. I don't want to bring it up, but what I do want to do is I want to open this guy up, and I'm opening it up right now, and here it is, right? And so what we can see, this is the boating guy. And so for each raster cell, or it's not raster, it's these fishnet. So each row is a fishnet, and then this is, the count for each of these different guys. We did that for the fishing boating access. You would do it again for the dams or for whatever else you're interested in. You'd export that guy, and you would then bring it within Excel into one single spreadsheet. We don't need any of this data. It's just useless for us. We can delete this stuff. But where this is boating, we would have the other guy, and then this would be dams, right? And then we'd paste that data in. And then we could start doing our correlation coefficient calculations, and we can finally be happy.